Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Art of Female Muscle podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Remo, aka Fem Physique Fan, and today we're going to be having the first Femuscle Roundtable that we've had in quite a while. My guests today are two women's bodybuilding IFBB pros. First one I'll introduce is Anastasia Ryder, who just placed third at the Chicago Pro. Welcome, Anastasia, to the show. And then second guest is a friend of Anastasia's. She won her pro card at the 2024 North Americans in heavyweight bodybuilding. And ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Elizabeth Moline. Hi, great to see you both here. So I was going to have two other people show up, but unfortunately they had other commitments. They had to deal with either emergency business or health concerns with family members. So, but I'm hoping to be able to get a good discussion here with you two, because many of the topics cover your division. So the first one I guess I wanted to cover was about the question of, has the IFBB Pro card lost its prestige? Because that's been a topic of discussion from some people. There was a post that was made by Lee Haney, which he said that too many IFBB Pro cards are being handed out. And Iris Kyle, let's see if I can get it on here. If I can get her on here. There it is. That she decided to bring her 2 cents worth, 10-time Miss Olympia. She said, with all due respect, the value has expired years ago. Lee Haney, please say that again. These days, IFBB Pro cards are being handed out like Social Security cards. The privilege and prestige that once made earning an IFBB Pro card so meaningful has completely lost its significance. The uniqueness and honor once carried has simply drifted away. I think many of us can agree on this with both intelligence and integrity. Well, not everybody agreed with that, because new IFBB Pro Lavina Barros, she made her own response to Iris Kyle over on her IG, and it was and she posted these comments in reply. Has the pro card lost its value, or has the sport simply evolved? I've heard many old school voices speaking on this, and with full respect, I decided to share my point of view as an athlete of this new generation. Yes, the past may be more accessible today, but it's definitely not less challenging. With more federations, more shows, and more visibility, it's only natural that there are more pro cards today. That doesn't mean standards have dropped, it means the ecosystem has expanded. I come from a generation that dreams big, communicates, delivers performance, and proudly represents the sport. Bodybuilding has evolved. It has gained visibility, opened new doors, fueled the fitness industry, and turned athletes into recognized and marketable professionals. This isn't a crisis, it's progress. In the past, visibility was limited. Today, we have structure, platforms, and sponsorship opportunities to truly be seen and respected. Prestige isn't in the title, it's what you do with it. What we're living is evolution, with new formats, new demands, and new opportunities. So on the one hand, you've got one of the most recognized names in women's bodybuilding, of all bodybuilding, having more Olympia titles than any other bodybuilder in history, saying that they have lost prestige, but you have one of the new generation, Lavina, saying that that isn't the case. What are your thoughts? Who would you side with and why?
I'm running in between, for sure.
I'm the same. I can see both sides. I don't think there needs to be a second place pro card. There doesn't need to be a second place pro card. I don't want a second place pro card. I want to win. Like, you go to win.
What about the people? What about people who have suggested the bump system? Like, say you're in the situation where you've entered into 3 divisions, and then you're up for, like, at a national show, like a pro qualifier, and you've already won your pro card in one of the divisions. What about the bump system? Like, for the people in the next 2 divisions, bumping it down to the next one in line. What do you guys think about that?
You didn't win. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It goes to the best physique on stage.
Do you think it should be handed out even though they have won a pro card already?
Absolutely. If they earned that.
That's the same thing as telling somebody, okay, you already punched your ticket to the O. Why are you doing another pro show? Let other people do it. That's not what this is about. This is not about being fair.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, so what about people? Let's see. What about so when you said you're middle ground though? How is that middle ground? Because it seems like you take the side of Lavina over Iris. So as how would it be middle ground? How would you agree with Iris, and how would you agree with Lavina?
I think Elizabeth pretty much said it very succinctly. It should be harder to get a pro card, but not as hard as Iris is trying to make it
Yeah.
out. Like it shouldn't be second place to get a pro card. And if you are, in a smaller division and you're competing and there's only 3 or 4 people in your class, you should have to win the overall to get your pro card.
Hmm.
I mean, it should be a little bit harder. Do I think that? I think if we did that, it wouldn't be too many pro cards being handed out.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
agree. And like, I want to see women's bodybuilding grow. Like, I went to the local show in Minneapolis 2 weeks ago, and it is a great show, awesome show. One women's physique competitor, one, and zero. They didn't have women's bodybuilding, so it's like I want to see the class grow, and that's the part of like I don't think there's too many pro cards being handed out, but I also think like there doesn't need to be a second place pro card, and I do think that like giving it to the overall winner, that's
Because
that's
that's
how.
also going to help
Hmm.
us division, right? If we're rewarding substandard physiques just because these were the only 3 people that showed up, and we give it to the top 2, how is that incentivizing women that want to be professional bodybuilders and want to
Mhm.
have that title? You see a girl that took third and got her pro card, like that kind of would ruin it for me as well. Like I wouldn't want my pro card that way. I would want to feel like I was the best at that show, and that's why I earned it. I deserved it from that.
I also have this thought process of like the it's not about your pro card, it's about what you do in the pro league. There's a lot of people that go to get their pro cards and, oh, I got my pro card. Cool, show me what you're gonna do in the pro league. That's kind of how I see it. Like you're just unlocking the next level. It's not like a end thing. It's now okay, now let's see what you do at the shows in the pro league.
Turn pro, you're nobody again. Like you finally
Yeah.
you did this for like 2 or 3 days, woo, but then you're right back to an untested pro. And the thing is, if you won your pro card by getting second place, you're really at the bottom of the barrel now because you couldn't even beat another pro that
Hmm.
wasn't a pro 10 minutes ago. So like, you shouldn't even really want that easy win because it's not making you a better athlete.
Hmm.
I think one of the reasons why you're seeing that from older competitors is because back then you didn't have the phenomenon of divisional crossovers. Like you had to decide what it was you were when you went to a pro qualifier. Are you a bodybuilder? Are you physique competitor? Are you figure competitor? And that's how you got in. But now with the phenomenon of divisional crossovers, which didn't exist before, I think that's why a lot of the old timers are saying that, is because that's the mentality. That's what they grew up with, is because they did not see the opportunity to be able to win multiple pro cards at the
I
same show in different divisions.
feel like that's actually a different issue entirely. Um, Really, that shouldn't be happening because we should only be rewarding people that fit the division criteria.
Hmm.
So, like, even if you are the leanest person at the women's bodybuilding division, if you don't look like a women's bodybuilder, that shouldn't be like, yeah, it's put you in the top call out, but like, if you're not fitting the division criteria, then you're not fitting the division criteria. So,
Hmm.
as a separate issue aside, they really need to kind of hone in on that and be a lot stricter on it at every level.
Right, exactly. I just saw not too long ago. This was a southern show in the southern U.S. It wasn't southern USA's, but I just saw somebody that had like your physique, Anastasia. She entered into bodybuilding, physique, figure, and wellness, and won in all four.
And that's
And
No.
I'm like, I look at that. It's like all of these divisions are supposed to have their separate sets of
Yeah.
criteria, which are supposed to result in a different look. So
That sounds like
logically, that shouldn't even be possible given
that
that
sounds
situation.
like
But it is. It's happening all the time.
that sounds like they were either really confused judges that don't know the clear outline for the class like criteria, or no one showed up to that show. and she had no competition.
And it's that's what seems to happen a lot, and why you see these girls win all these crossovers. But in other leagues that aren't MPC and IFBB, I've seen that they won't give a pro card, even if it's a pro card like winning show. Like you're supposed to win the show, you get a pro card. If they look at you and they say, you are not good enough or you don't fit this criteria, they won't give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that would cause a huge uproar in the MPC and IFBB, because people would, of course, say it's politics and favoritism. But at these smaller federations, it really does work, because then they don't have a bunch of pros that shouldn't be pros.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not pro level, so sorry, we're not giving you the pro card. And I really do respect that, because, again, now you're not having the issue of there's 20,000 pros and half of them shouldn't even be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's for me, it's like I followed this long enough now that I remember when there was only women's bodybuilding. So I was there like at the birth of every one of these new divisions that have come up. And it's the same thing that's said every time. Said, oh, well, this is the evolution of the sport. I've heard that so often now, over 25 years. To me, that's just like, at this point, it's like a euphemism for money.
Yeah.
It's like they said, it's not evolution. You wanted more money. That's why you're making that's why you keep making these smaller divisions. But they do the same thing every time. They let the criteria loose. They start rewarding looks that are not according to the criteria. And then what do? They come up with yet another division saying, oh, well, now we're evolving again. It's like, no, what you did was you fouled up this one, and now you're trying to fix it by coming up with another one. Yeah. At least that's the way I see it. But yeah, it's like, I guess I'm kind of torn with it too. I want this to grow too. I want women's bodybuilding to grow as well, because I remember a time where it was a lot better than this. Way better than this, especially back in the 80s. So
I really do. I was talking in my last interview, and I actually mentioned Elizabeth. I mentioned Amanda Santos, the girl that just won USA. There's a lot of younger women that are like getting into women's bodybuilding, I feel, and like really passionate about it, love it. Ever since it became accessible again, it takes time for women's bodybuilding. It's not like
sure.
gain all that mass in a year or two, but I think the people that wanted to do it are starting to make their way up, and they look good. Like, I think the next generation is killing it. Honestly, Elizabeth looks insane. You'll see in a couple months of her debut. Amanda, who we both competed with, is competing soon.
Great.
Hunter Henderson, you have the girl that just turned pro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of new young talent that's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as worried about our division as I used to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting. So another topic closely related to this would be, it's like while we were talking about that, would be the advent of the fit model division. And I know there are people who, especially because the pro division is going to be making its debut next year. So they're coming up with the pros this year that are going to be competing in the division next year. What impact, if any, do you think that's going to have on women's bodybuilding and women's physique in the pro division? Because personally, as I see it, I think it means there's going to be less, not more. Because now you have 7 divisions for promoters to choose from, and it's like it comes down to what's more marketable. And at least that's the way they're seeing it. So I just wonder, how can it not have some kind of a negative impact on it? Or do you think it's going to have no impact at all?
I don't think it will, because honestly, the people I know that are fans of like bikini and fit model are kind of only fans of that. And the people I know that are fans of like women's physique bodybuilding are also the fans of wellness figure, the men's division. They kind of separate themselves, really, from what I've seen. I don't think it will take away from us at all, honestly, because they're just so different. I mean, literally, they're so different. They're the exact opposite of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think bikini.
Sorry, go ahead.
Model, honestly.
Sorry?
Fit model kick bikini out of shows before they kick us out.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's the thing is, when one of these new divisions comes along, all the other divisions, from what I've seen, they experience a reduction in support, especially in the industry. Like it used to be, like if you had a bikini competitor versus a figure competitor competing for a supplement contract, It's like the one that has the more marketable look is the bikini competitor. But now you have bikini versus fit model. And it's like now who's the one who is going to be most likely getting the contract is the one with the more marketable. So it's like bikini and wellness, they've had it this way for a while, but now with fit model, I just wonder what impact it's going to have with them
I mean,
in terms of the industry and such. So
think we're marketable. Women's
what's
bodybuilding obesity competitors. I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't think it's fair for us to point fingers at another division and say, you're taking away from us because I think we can all win. I really, really do. I
Mhm.
don't think one excludes the other. And also, just from a personal standpoint, I don't make other women my enemy in any way
hmm,
about that. So, yeah, they're totally different from me, but they're still passionate about something that they're
Mhm.
pursuing. I'm not going to downgrade what they're doing.
okay,
Even if I am affected, I just have to figure out a way to make sure we're not affected. We just have to work together like we did, like with Tampa Pro. We didn't even have women's bodybuilding at Tampa Pro until we all got together and talked to who we needed to and made it happen. And now not only do we have women's bodybuilding there, Bad Rap is sponsoring it and giving even more money to the winners. So we can do this.
right,
Stop pointing fingers, being helpless, and saying all this stuff. We have the power to be more popular, to sell tickets. When I went to Chicago, Elizabeth was there. I had like 12 people that bought tickets for the show for me. Women's bodybuilding is not dead at
right.
all.
No, that was a good show. That was a
Yeah,
great show.
fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's like my fellow fans, from what I see, it's like something we've got to do is we've got to start buying tickets
Yes,
and we've got to start going to shows and buying webcasts and not doing what some are doing, and that's buying the thing and then streaming it for free
yes,
on IG and stuff like that. It's like that's not helping.
because
That's not helping the situation because they're losing revenue,
yes,
and in the process, you're giving the promoter all the ammunition they need if they wanted to pull the division from the show. Because right there, they realize they're losing money. So I think us fans have got to step up and start literally putting our money where our mouths are. It's like if you can buy the ticket to go to the show, or if you can buy the webcast, buy it. Don't just try to stream it for free.
because then they can track how many people are buying the live stream and they can track what people are watching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Exactly right.
only tuning into women's bodybuilding on the live stream, they're going to get that feedback when they, finish production, all that, and they'll see that we do have fans. So that's really like, if you want to win this game, you have to play the game, and the game
Hmm.
is money. We know that it's not a mystery. So get people to spend money on us, get people to watch us,
Right.
get people to come. I've bought pretty much every show this year that's been streaming, pro shows to watch the women's bodybuilders. It's
Yep.
20 bucks.
Right.
Like all that is stuff we can do.
Hmm.
Exactly. So, are there any other suggestions that you have as to how to improve it other than just us fans being able to go and trying to do what we do as far as the industry goes, as far as visibility, etc.?
Um, well, I do. I don't want Elizabeth. I want to hear from Elizabeth too. But
Oh gosh.
I one of my big things is and it's changing. It is changing and getting better. But in previous years, the lack of camaraderie between female bodybuilders was literally disgusting. Like nobody supported anybody. People weren't cheering each other on. People weren't talking to other people. And you see the men's open; they're training together all the time. They're doing videos together. They're doing photo shoots. Like they're making a fan base and they're making something for people to be fans of. When women's bodybuilders shut down and we don't post and we don't talk and we're not friendly and we're not working with other people in the industry, what is there to be a fan of? You just want people to spend money on you, but you haven't given them any reason to.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. I actually, I'm collabing with a friend here in Minneapolis who's gonna do some YouTube videos of my training sessions. And I'm like, I'm not worth YouTubing. Like that's not. Oh, but every time I go on YouTube to see a video, like I want to see a video of a woman bodybuilder like getting after it, like putting meals down, training super hard. Like that content needs to be out there. And I think like last year, the top three of Rising Phoenix, they had Ashley Jones, who's Brandon's what's her name, Andrea, and Angela.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Angela.
three
Yeah.
of them got a lift in together, and I was like, let's go. I was so excited to watch that video.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And like my first experience with women's bodybuilding was Nationals 23. That was my first time ever stepping on stage as a woman bodybuilder. And it was amazing. Like, that was my favorite show. I didn't get my pro card at that show. Yet it's one of my favorite shows that I've competed in. It's where I met Anastasia. It's where I met Amanda, met my friend Montana. Like, I made so many friends that show and just had like an awesome time. I think how many competitors were there? There were like
I
15 women on
yeah,
stage.
it was the most women's bodybuilder that I ever had. It was like 23 or 27, something crazy like that.
Yeah, yeah. And like, so I don't have as much experience as Anastasia has. That was my first show, and it was an awesome experience. It was so good. But part of that is like Anastasia's energy and like Amanda, no one's trying to like, oh, I'm not gonna talk to her because she might be good, like
Everyone was so cool, man. I that's my favorite show too. I tell everybody that was just like the energy there was just insane. But it's because all of us are freaking happy and cool and excited to be there and passionate about what we were
mhm.
doing. Like it was awesome.
Yeah, yeah, like we're all working so hard. Like you work so hard for one show day. Like enjoy the show day, have a good time.
Mm, exactly. I've got a comment here from KLA the Wanderer. Says that Fit Model is getting bullied, in my opinion. Do you think it is?
Some people definitely are.
Yeah.
I mean, but people bully all the divisions. If you can't handle that, don't do
I'm pretty sure bikini was getting bullied long before fit model.
it. To bully too. So it's, I mean, and women's bodybuilding gets bullied too. Half the time we were kicked out of everything. So if you don't have thick skin,
Yeah.
the same for you. Sorry.
And I like what Anastasia said, like, I'm not trying to downplay anybody's hard work. It's all hard work. Does it look different from women's bodybuilding to bikini? Heck yeah. I don't want to do that many glute days. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it just comes up with what look you want to have
Yeah,
on
but
stage.
if we're women pitting ourselves against other women and we're trying to grow the women's side of the sport, we've already lost.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that. Like, yes, you can say that division is something I would never want to compete in. It's not for me. Period. The end. That's all that needs to be said.
Yep.
Hmm. Here's a question for both of you. I've heard often it's like some people will say one of the reasons why women's bodybuilding is the way it is because women aren't showing up to compete. So on the one hand, I'm hearing that. Other people are saying, well, yeah, but look at what goes into a single contest prep. All the work that goes into it, all the money that goes into it, because for which most people are going to get zero ROI from that. But it's like for the people who say you all need to show up to more shows, it's like how on the one hand I get that, but on the other hand, it's like this can be so debilitating to a competitor that they have to take time off, like serious time off, like for a couple of years. What is the in between, if any,
I
that you
had
can try to find the middle ground between those positions?
I had that thought process going into my next prep because I competed and I wanted to do another show. And I was like, well, damn, does it make sense for me to do that? Like, because this does take a lot out of you and I can't work the way I want to. That's really my big thing. I can't work the way I want to. And it doesn't pay a lot. Then I thought about it and I was like, well, if I didn't have any other obligations, would I want to do another show? And the answer was yes. So I made the decision that way. But what you said is really the issue with it. Like, it is the women have to prep just as hard as the men.
Hmm.
You don't see men's open guys doing shows back to back unless they're sponsored and they can afford to do that. So I think that is one of the bigger issues, like you said. But again, it all comes back to us needing to create more of a fan base so we're able to get those sponsorships and we're able to get those opportunities that the men get. That way we can
Hmm.
keep doing shows like they want us to and like what we want to too. I mean, most of us want to do more than one show a year, but it just doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're so spread out. It's hard. It's hard to stay in prep that long because, like, I'm a physical therapist assistant. I the last few weeks of prep are very, very challenging to go work a full 8 hour day. You wake up, do cardio, work the 8 hours, go to the gym, train to failure, posing practice, cardio. Like that routine and regimen. I love it. I love the grind. But you can only push that hard for so long,
Right.
and then your physique's going to start looking worse and worse.
Exactly. So that's interesting. Hopefully, I'm hoping to see more. Just speaking as a fan, I'm hoping to see that more fans will start coming out publicly in support. Because just for the years I've seen this, there's so many guys who are like closet fans of this, who will talk about it online, but in real life they won't spend the money or they won't talk about it because they're afraid of how they will be viewed by other people in society if they come out as being fans of you ladies. It's like
You've
I get, and I
heard people
get,
say this. People
yeah,
like say these words.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
I feel like that might have been more true years ago, but I really, really feel like the climate is changing. Like even out of the gym, I've been at the gym I train clients out of for 2 years now, so they've all watched me. And even just the guys, like just regular ass dudes at that gym that just go to work out, even they have watched what I've done and they've now become fans. Like a lot of them told me, "Oh, I'm going to Tampa Pro to watch women's bodybuilding," and I'm not even competing. They're going just because they're now fans of the sport. But I've also been very transparent about what I've done this whole prep. Like they've watched me, they understand the hard work that goes into it, so they see it as an athletic endeavor. It's the same. I had this conversation on an Instagram post a couple months ago where I kind of got a little spicy with it, but they were talking about how women need to lean into the sexual aspect of this more, and I said that's not the case. I said look
No.
at MMA fighters, look at UFC fighters. These girls are getting huge sponsorship opportunities, and they don't do any of the sexual stuff at all. They're just athletes, and men support them like with money. It's not that we're not worthy and that people don't think we're worthy, but we're not showing people what we do. We're not being transparent. We're not inviting fans. We just want them to be there like just automatically, and it doesn't work that way.
I
right,
honestly think like the more women that get involved with OnlyFans, the more women that take it down that road, it pulls us further and further away from being taken seriously and from getting those sponsorships and from having those fans. I think the more we go down that road, the further away we get from what we want.
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. I agree because I've seen this now with the years as the years go by. Every time that I see or I have seen a report in the mainstream national media about women's bodybuilding, it always follows the same narrative. And the narrative is psychology, steroids, and sessions. And it's like the sessions always show up. They always talk about it. And I'm like, now today that was pre-internet. Now the internet changed, things have changed that live sessions aren't necessary anymore with such like OnlyFans and camming sites and such like that. But I mean, it just for me is like I see it. It's like that automatically paints all you ladies as being part of that, and it's like that's just not true. There are women who don't want anything to do with that, or they don't want to go down that route, and they want to show it as something, and they wanted to show it as something not automatically attached to that.
And I understand why women do that, and I don't think any less of them because, again, like we talked about, this is fucking expensive.
Right.
You know, that's one great way to make money, but it does on some level take away from the rest of us as far as mainstream people go because like you were saying, you know, people in the industry know that it's not every girl is doing that, but like general population, that is most of the only insight they're getting into this world.
Right. Exactly right. And it's all coming from the media.
And it's okay to have that angle, but we have to have some other ones too.
Right. You have to have other voices other than just what the mainstream national media is telling them. And that's what's frustrated me for so long is how you're associated automatically with this. Like with the whole, like the ever popular steroid question. They've done that so much and so long now for the last 40 years. Even your genuine natties, not your fake natties, but the ones who really aren't, in fact, taking any of this, they get approached and they say, hey, what do you want? Or it's like, what are you taking? Because the automatic assumption is bodybuilding equals steroids. It's like, that's not always true. You have women who want to be enhanced. You have other women who have no desire to do that at all. And those women, they don't get that because they don't get that notoriety because nobody bothers to cover them because it doesn't get as many ratings.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
again, it's about living in reality versus where we wish the current climate was. I mean, this is what we have to deal with. This is
right.
what's going on right now. So it's up to us to change how we respond to it rather than just, wishing it was different.
Well, next topic that I wanted to cover was this just happened like a couple months ago. Clear out of the blue, you have IFBB Pro Austin Carr deciding to come out and say, hey, I'm interested in potentially bringing pro women's bodybuilding to my show. And this is the Steve Carr Las Vegas Classic that's going to be held. He said, if I can get 5 women to commit to this, then I'll officially put in the lineup. And clearly he did. And let me see if I can post it out here. Yeah, that he's decided to go ahead officially to add pro women's bodybuilding to the lineup of his show. Now, the thing that's interesting, though, is the date of the show, November 8th. That's the same weekend as Romania. So and this show also, the Las Vegas Classic, that is also now a 2026 Miss Olympia qualifier. So I'm just wondering, it will be interesting to see the kind of impact that is going to have on Romania, because it's like the more American competitors find out about it, it's like change their plans. Case in point, somebody we talked about prior to the show, Brittany Parrish. She was originally going to make her pro debut at Romania. I DM'd her about this show and said, hey, I don't know if you're aware of this. She immediately changed her mind. So she's now making her debut here in Vegas instead of going there. So it's just interesting. How much of an impact do you think this is going to have on Romania?
I think it's awesome. The more opportunities we have to compete, especially in a place like Vegas, and not a random Mississippi show or something like that. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I think we're getting better.
I mean, it's my pro debut. That's the show I'm doing. And
awesome.
I'm still, but like, I want it to be an amazing turnout. Like, I want to show up for that show to represent women's bodybuilding because we need people showing up. Like, we need, yeah.
I'll be there.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
I know Chelsea Dion is apparently already committed. Brittany is already committed. I don't know about Christina Nicole Mendoza. It'd be great if she showed up as well, because she's there in Vegas too, but I've not heard officially as far as she goes. But yeah. And now Gilco Productions, Mitchell Gilbert, he's now signed on to do video for it. And then there's going to be a live stream courtesy of Center Podium TV. So it's growing, and I think that's wonderful. And it's just going to be interesting. The more American competitors that find out about this is like whether or not they're going to probably go with this rather than go across an ocean, let alone halfway across a continent, to be able to compete when you got one right here at home. So
I think this is really good, because I mean, a lot of people can't even afford to go overseas, but now that
right,
here, hell yeah, we'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see who all does compete at this, because I mean, when they came out with the Titans Grand Prix, when they decided to come up with that show, the lineup for that was impressive. I mean, just when they decided to come with that. So it'll be interesting to see the impact that it has.
Yeah.
There is one more topic I wanted to bring up, and this was just, wait a minute, hold on a second. I got a question here. This is from KLA The Wanderer. What are your thoughts on some bodybuilders sharing their experiences on taking substances? Good question, because Hannah Hussein, who is a relatively new IFBB pro, she just posted a couple of videos about her substance use and how she's going about it. She's trying to get more open on it. So what are your thoughts about that? About people becoming open about it?
The more transparency, the better.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. I think it's important to share, like, the things you take, how you have to eat, how you have to train, how your life revolves around being a competitor. I think, like, full transparency on all aspects of it, and the substances you take being one of them.
I guess the one question I've always had in regards to that is, what about the legality of it? Because since if you're not taking these for a legitimate medical reason, I mean, in a lot of cases, it's illegal. So it's like, what do you do in the, I mean, on the one hand, I can see the value of being open because you don't want people to not be aware of what they're doing. But at the same time, how do you deal with the legality aspect of it? Because I mean, by being open like this, aren't you basically letting law enforcement know you're doing this?
All the men are taking it. Every professional athlete you know is taking it. People and celebrities in Hollywood are all taking things. I don't think that we should be like talking about it every single chance we get. Like it shouldn't be like our main thing. Like here's the drug usage. But if we're asked about it or if it comes up, there's no reason not to be transparent at all. But we also don't need to make it a whole platform because, like Elizabeth was saying, that's just one small aspect of what we do.
How many law enforcement individuals do you think take steroids themselves?
Good question. Because I mean, there was a story back in New Jersey about 5-6 years ago. There was apparently numerous different police internal affairs bureaus were like wondering what was going on because apparently this one obscure doctor had died, and like the radios basically lit up from law enforcement people saying he's dead. What do you mean he's dead? How did he die? Yada yada yada. And the reason why they were so concerned is because he was their supplier, and it was something like 200, 300. It's like local police, sheriff's deputies, state police, in addition, firefighters, first responders, such like that. All of them were wrapped up in this, like 200-300 of them.
No, I worked in law enforcement for 3 years, and that was way before I got into bodybuilding. And that was the first time I ever saw a man pin himself with tests and end up in the bathroom crying because his estrogen was too high and all the above. It was all law enforcement for 3 years. That's all I saw. That's the only people I thought took steroids for the longest until I got into this. So they're not gonna bang down the door to arrest us for this shit. I mean,
because I have 3 vials in my apartment.
Yeah.
Okay. I've always wondered about that. So it'll be interesting to see how this openness plays out in the future. So then I guess the one thing, this just happened a couple of days ago. I was wanting to get your feedback on this. See if I can get this up here. This was a post that was made like just a couple of days ago. It was put up by Beyond the Stage. It said, today the wellness and figure divisions were not going to be awarded IFBB Pro status due to low competitor numbers. That should have been at Dreams on Hold. But what happened next was something you don't see often in bodybuilding that's often seen as individual and competitive to the core. Some of the girls from both divisions stepped up. They agreed to enter each other's classes, pay the extra fees. They supported each other and made sure everyone had a shot at earning that pro card. Not for a medal, not for a trophy, but so the minimums would be met and IFBB Pro status could still be awarded. That's bodybuilding at its purest. They didn't just compete, they uplifted one another. This is what bodybuilding is supposed to be about: respect, unity, and pushing each other forward. Now that was one point of view on the subject, but then, let's see if I can post them up here. You also had IFBB Pro Greg, I'm not sure if it's Duchette or Doucette. He gave his own point of view, and this is what he said.
100% disagree with this. So there's a reason there's a minimum amount of people to get pro cards, so that they don't have people who really aren't good enough to get it. So you have a minimum amount. And so what we have here are a bunch of athletes who then have to pay extra money and compete in a category they don't belong in order to give somebody that probably doesn't need a pro card to get a pro card. If they didn't have enough competitors, go to another show. You don't need to turn pro. And so if it's really just getting people pro cards, then the athletes shouldn't have to pay more money. Take away the qualifying standard. Say whoever shows up wins a pro card. You're supposed to have 5. And if there's not, the athletes shouldn't have to enter. What's next? I'm going to get my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister to compete against me so that I have enough people in the division to get a pro card? This is ridiculous and embarrassment. I mean, people go on and make videos about, oh, that guy embarrassed themselves going on stage because they were overweight, or that person danced too much. What is this? Somebody from a different category competes against you to get you a pro card?
So on the one hand, you've got some who are saying that this is uplifting, that this is a positive thing, but then you've also got people like Greg who say that he just flat out called it ridiculous. What's your take?
Greg,
I like it.
he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
He's not
No.
wrong. Do I think it's necessary to beat a dead horse at this point? Like they were wrong for doing that. Blah 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 blah. They're gonna find out when they hit the pro stage.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all that is. Like they all those athletes made the choice to do that. I don't know if I would have personally made that choice, but they did, and that's fine. That's their life to live. But the people that turn pro in an easier way are gonna find out it's not like that in the pro leagues. Totally different.
I wonder how long it took for them to change their Instagram handle to IFBB. So,
That's the venue.
no, I think I really like it when that happens when the NPC awards the winner that didn't get the pro card because they didn't have enough people in their class, awards them with an entry fee for the next show, the next national show. That's what you like. I think that's
I like that. That's
standard.
good. Yep, that's good.
So as far as improving, how would be something? What would be some things to improve? I don't know if it's even possible, but what would be some things to do to increase or improve camaraderie? Would it be peer pressure to do so, or how would you be able to improve things?
You just gotta talk to each other. Just communicate. If you see somebody that looks great, say, "Hey, you look great." Doesn't have to be super duper deep. We just have to talk to each other and be friendly.
Hmm.
Right. It's just I've seen. I don't know if you guys have, if you ladies have seen what's happened recently with Sarah Villegas and Natalia Coelho. That Sarah has basically gone out of her way to say that Natalia is on synthol and claiming that she's injecting her quads with it. And I'm like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, you did this last time. You said that she was attacking you via fake Instagram accounts, and you said you had the receipts to prove it. You never proved anything. It's like, and now here we are with the same thing happening again. In the question of camaraderie, it's like you see the top two women in this division, or one of the women in one of the top two women in this division, going after the other one like this. It's like, for crying out loud, just leave it for the stage.
Sarah and Natalia are number 1 and 2 in the world, and I think Sarah is just smart because guess what we're all doing right now?
Right.
Talking about them.
Yeah.
It's
True.
always in men's bodybuilding, and people love it. They'll pit people against each other, and they'll follow the Instagram stories, and they'll follow the comments. Natalia and Sarah are doing the same thing. That's smart. I mean, they're not talking to each other. They're not communicating. Yeah, it's not like lifting each other up, but people are paying attention, and people are talking, and people are taking sides, and that's called being a fan, and that's what we need.
Hmm.
But doesn't that go against the idea of camaraderie, like has been advanced here? Because, I mean, wouldn't that have a negative impact on it?
Really, when I say camaraderie of women's bodybuilding, it's more so even the fact that a lot of them just won't communicate at all. Like a lot of these girls act like the other girls don't even exist.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Like I don't have as much experience with that because, like, right, my first women's bodybuilding show was 2023. But I think it's like you said, it's the little Instagram messages. It's something small. It's something like Keon's fiance or girlfriend. I don't know. Amanda. Yeah. Yeah, she was in the cities. She was training at the gym that I was training at when she was here for Twin Cities Open. Had the best conversation with her. Super, super nice. And she's like, drop into Dragon's Lair. We have the most like when you come to compete, drop into Dragon's Lair. We've got a ton of women bodybuilders there. And it's like that's the kind of connectedness that there needs to be. It's like you're at the gym, don't give a side eye. Like clearly that's an IFBB pro that looks amazing. Say hi, right? Like
Literally that. That's all you have to do. Like I when I was in Chicago and I saw other bigger girls at the gym, I tried to talk to all of them. About half of them would sit and talk to me. The other half would look at me like I was crazy for being friendly. And like we don't need that other part. We don't need that.
uh-huh.
Hmm. Well, this has been a great discussion, ladies, and it's great to get the feedback from two IFBB pros who all of these subjects covering you guys specifically. Is there anything else that you want to share or anything like that that you want to get out to the audience in regards to women's bodybuilding?
Ooh.
Give us a chance.
Yeah.
Follow the younger girls. I'm serious. The female body is fucking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
we have this new generation coming up that is just so cool and so passionate and so badass and like collabing with each other and just being true fans of the sport they're actually in. So, you know, if anybody watching this has been kind of off and on with women's bodybuilding over the years, give us a chance. We're doing what we have to do and we're fucking killing it. So we're gonna all bring something really cool to the stages we come to.
Oh yeah. I second that.
Well, I want to be respectful of both of your times. Thank you very much for your willingness to come on here. I hope that you've had. I try to do this so that I can get informed, just like I can get other people informed as well. So, thank you very much for your contribution. It's been great to have you here. I want to be respectful of your time. So, thank you very much. It's been wonderful to talk to you. This has been the latest Femuscle Roundtable here on the Art of Female Muscle podcast. So, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.